Today's episode of The Walk Show is brought to you in part by Jam Spots. Established in 1989, that's over 30 years, Jam Spots has provided safe and accessible spaces for musicians to create and collaborate. They have hourly, weekly, and monthly rentals to suit your needs. And here's the thing, these rooms rent out at artist-friendly rates. Cause let's face it, we can't all be John Bon Jovi. The best part about Jam Spots is its rich history in the Guelph music scene. It truly is a big part of the local scene and even has a music community within itself. And I should know, almost every band I've ever been a part of has had a room with Jam Spots. That's a ton of rehearsals, photo shoots, and even a music video we shot there with Arise and Ruin. If you're looking for a space within our music community, check out jamspots.com. That's JAMSPOTS.com. Jam Spots. Make some noise! Like I always say, better late than never. Don't you love it when people claim common sayings as their own? I'm having what I like to call an awesome day. Welcome to The Walk Show, podcasting on all the major platforms. Thank you for listening. You can also support the show on Facebook and Instagram. I mean, for the record, I am really sorry that this episode is dropping late. I had a hectic weekend of rehearsals, individual practices, errands and chores, and it all ended up with a trip to Toronto with my wife to go see Failure at the Velvet Underground. And for anyone that doesn't know, Failure is one of my favorite bands. Ken Andrews is one of my heroes, so I was a total fanboy at the show last night. Easily one of the best performances I've ever seen, and possibly the very best. I reached out to you on Facebook and Instagram to ask you who would play you in a movie about you, and here's what you had to say.
Now it's time to check that mail. I'm gonna check that mail good. Yeah, check that mail.
We have a busy one today from Ryan McAdam. What's up, Ryan? He says, Stone Cold Steve Austin. He might have to put on a few pounds to really get into the role. Well, Stone Cold does like crushing those beers, though, right? By the way, I'm not saying anything. I just... Okay, moving on. From Ryan Bachman of Arise and Ruin. Hey, brother, man. Bachman says, the Hulk and Michelangelo from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Laboratory Love Child. Yeah, dude, that's way too accurate. Amazing. Miss you, buddy. From Brent Munger, another Arise dude. Hey, broski. Brent says, Harry from Harry and the Hendersons. Another amazing answer. From my dude Ben Garbut of the Absolute Bedlam podcast. What's up, homie? Ben says, Will Ferrell, but he's a lot funnier than me, so... Well, Ben, I wonder if you could pull off your amazing British accent, though. I think that might be a feather in your cap, good sir. From Gabor Petho. Man, all the heavy hitters chiming in today on The Walk Show. What's up, dude? Gabor says Chris Hemsworth. And yeah, I can actually see that, dude. From Will Noseworthy. Another OG chiming in. Hey, buddy. Will says, only I can be me, man. And yeah, good call, dude. Pulling a Kramer here. From my ruling wife, Mackenzie. Hey, schmoops. Mackenzie says, I'd love to say Rachel McAdams, but probably whoever played Marla in A League of Their Own. Well, I mean, that is funny in a self-deprecating kind of way, but fuck no. You are a Abraham Lincoln. And way out of my league, by the way. Let's see what I did there. From Chris Veteretto. What's up, Vetty? Chris says Adam Sandler, if he's busy. Jason Biggs, if he's busy. Mike Tyson. Amazing, dude. From Susan Prince Cox, my dad's awesome wife. Hey, Susan. She says the Three Stooges. All amazing answers, and from some really fantastic people. Thank you so much. I really don't have an answer for this one. And even if I tried to come up with something funny, like, it would just be smashed to pieces by these fantastic answers. Job well done. As always, thank you so much for your participation. If you aren't writing in and you want to get in on the action, when you see an episode question pop up on Facebook and Instagram, leave your answer in the comment section or send your answers to thewalkshow@gmail.com. On that note, let's do today's Double Feature Preacher.
The Double Feature Preacher is brought to you by Cabin Coffee.
Woo, that is a tasty f***ing brew.
And by The Walk Show.
Today's music feature is The Journey by Room 12. Room 12 is an original band from right here in Guelph, Ontario. The Journey includes music and lyrics from Scott Tucker and vocals from Brett Shorter. This track blends electric and acoustic guitars and brings a real rock vibe to the forefront. Big thanks to Scott for reaching out and for sending me this track. You can support Room 12 on YouTube and SoundCloud, and you can follow Scott on Facebook by searching for XAMOT_TK. I think Scott may have produced this track as well. Correct me if I'm wrong, Scott. Today's Cabin Coffee feature is their San Jose Natural. This is a light roast all the way from El Salvador. The San Jose Natural has notes of blueberry, pomegranate, sage, and rum. And I definitely noticed the blueberry. It's delicious. If you're in the Guelph area today, you should pop in and grab one of their top-notch beverages. Cabin Coffee is located at 1467 Gordon Street in Guelph. Check out what they're up to at www.cabin.coffee. Give them a follow on the socials, and if you want to help out the Walk Show, please let them know that I sent ya.
Stick around to the end of the podcast to hear the full song from today's Double Feature Preacher artist.
For this episode, I had a conversation with singer and recording artist Elisa Rose. Elisa and I have been chatting about putting something together for quite some time now, so I'm really glad we got to make it happen for today's episode. She is incredibly talented and lots of fun to talk to. We had a great chat, and I hope you dig it. So let's get into it. Okay, and we are rolling here today with Elisa Rose. Elisa, thanks so much for making time for me today. I appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, my pleasure. And I mean, we were talking a little bit before the show, just about how long we've been conversing online.
Yes. It's been a while since I think I actually got in touch with you online, but during COVID somehow. I don't remember exactly how we came about, but I'm so glad we could finally do this.
Yeah. Well, it's nice to put, it's funny because you leave those voice messages, which is so cool. I feel like all the cool kids are doing that. I have to catch up. But nevertheless, I have heard your voice, but it's nice to interact with that voice.
Yes, of course. It's hard to type because I can't see half the time. I have to put on my glasses, so.
Yeah, well, there are a number of issues with texting, and I mean, I feel like that could be its own podcast altogether.
For sure. Most definitely.
But I will say, just having a conversation with people, I know has done wonders for my mental health throughout the pandemic. And I know I listen to a lot of podcasts as well. So it's, I don't really know where I'm going with this, and this is sort of a theme throughout the show. Is I sort of just thought vomit into a microphone, and people just kind of have to deal with it. But nevertheless, here we are.
Yep, you get to meet with artists and or other type of people, and you get to you support them and they get some exposure. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's definitely win-win. I mean, I enjoy it very, very much. And it's amazing that everybody in the world, and it doesn't matter if it's, a brand new band or, somebody super pro like yourself, everybody has a story, right?
I totally agree. Yes. Yeah.
So there's never a conversation that just sort of runs out of oxygen, or very seldom anyway.
You're right.
I do have to ask you, how are you enjoying this heat wave? It's been crazy.
Oh,
out there.
Yes, this weather has been crazy. So the weekend I was like dressed. I had a few gigs and I was like dressed like winter, and then all of a sudden it's like no jacket and it's so hot and
Oh my God,
so. But I love summer. Summer is one of my favorite seasons. So I don't mind the heat too much. And I could only stand the AC for a certain amount of time. But other than that, it's been okay.
That's cool. So you're not much of an AC fan.
No, I don't like it. I can't. I could stand it for maybe a few hours and that's pretty much it. Especially at nighttime, I literally shut it off at night, and because I hear it and then I can't sleep properly, believe it or not. I know that's kind of strange, but
No, that makes sense to me. I mean, I admire you.
Yeah.
We got Central Air a bunch of years ago, and I've just been
Right.
such a baby ever since. Like, I look out the window and I sweat, and every summer I'm like, I don't want to go out there. So this year,
yeah.
I've decided I'm going to embrace the sweat, because it's good to get a sweat on, right? It's good for the body.
Oh,
I
for
think.
sure. Most definitely. And I have to take my dog out. So he gets me out, 3 times a day at least. And so I get to walk around and sometimes chat with the neighbors who are walking their dogs. And it's pretty cool. So.
Yeah, you got to embrace it. It's coming one way or the other.
Yeah.
So today I made myself,
Yeah.
first world problem. I work from home, so I sat on my back deck and just had a lovely time.
Nice.
So you just played the Taste of Italy festival in Toronto. How did that go?
I did. Oh, that was amazing. Friday was a little bit windy, so it was a little bit hard to sing. But the crowd was absolutely amazing. Like they would just stop and listen to me sing and take their phones and start videos and some of the songs that I found that they really resonated to were because it was the Italian festival, I sang a lot of Italian songs. So they were really, they really resonated to the classic song O Sole Mio and Con te partirò, but one English song that I got the crowd stopping and they just stood there was Hallelujah from Leonard Cohen. Like
Nice.
Unbelievable. Yeah. Unbelievable. It was amazing. And Saturday was at 9:00. I performed until almost midnight, and it was incredible evening. So I had a lot of fun.
Wow, that's a long night though. Did you break that?
Yeah,
up into
it was a
multiple
lot.
sets?
Yeah, like almost like 3 hours of singing.
Wow.
But I did take a break. I chatted with the people there who stopped by, and one thing that I really did was that helped is I got a poster and I added my Instagram page and my website, and people were taking pictures of it. So I was like, oh, yeah, follow me here and download my music here, and
Man, that's
so
wow.
it was pretty cool.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Now I know.
Yeah, and every once in a while, people would slip $10 or $20 here. It was pretty cool.
That's perfect. And I mean, that's the best thing you can possibly do. I mean, I've been doing that for years and actually learned it from a friend of mine, Amber McLean, is always bring the tip jar with you to a show. You never know what's going to happen.
You never know what's going to happen. Exactly. So at first I was like, I was singing and the gentleman came and he gave me some, he had the bill in his hand and I'm like, no, it's okay. But he's just like, take it. So he was very generous of him to do that. So.
Oh, absolutely. But I mean, musicians definitely had a very rough go throughout this pandemic. I mean, we all did, but I mean, musicians, wow, they really took it on the chin, and any money made is money earned.
Oh, exactly. I did as much as I was able to do. Actually, I did a lot. I released like 3 or 4 songs during the pandemic. I couldn't believe I was able to do all of that. But it's been something that I've been wanting to do, and I had the time. So we did it. And I also did music. I did 2 or 3 music videos as well. So, I just wanted to keep going. I didn't want to stop. So, yeah.
Well, it's amazing to me how, particularly musicians, but entrepreneurs in general, just found ways to be creative during the pandemic. Just tried to get as much of the silver lining as possible.
Oh, most definitely. I was doing live shows on Facebook and on Instagram. And then I'm a baker. So I started a little baking business and started selling specialty Italian biscotti. And that's been really, really amazing. It took off and started doing online vendor events. And then I started doing in person last September. So it's pretty cool. Yeah.
And so how did you work out orders? I only ask because I sold some merch throughout the pandemic, and it was people were very trepidatious in terms of like dropping things off, and how did you go about that?
It was curbed, like a porch side pickup, and I would just meet them outside. We both had would wear the mask, or sometimes I would just leave it on the table outside, and they would just pick it up. So, and most of it was online, and they would just message me and be like, can I have an order of this? And, I was posting almost every day and baking almost every day. And then when it came to the holidays, oh my God, it was crazy busy. And, I couldn't believe it.
Man, that's incredible, though. I'm so glad you found ways to keep busy and keep productive. And, it's... I had to. Yeah, I had to, just so to be sane. Yeah, it's good for the soul, right?
For sure. Yeah.
So I did want to ask you, you'd mentioned you were singing for hours at the Taste of Italy festival. Do you have any tricks to keep your voice, from going hoarse or losing your voice, anything like that?
Drinking a lot of water, for sure. But room temperature water, actually not too cold. It's better for your throat. And I have a lot of, I always carry throat lozenges with me all the time. Even when I'm not singing, I always have them, and I find that they help a lot. Because 2019, I had a Christmas show. I was planning a Christmas show, and the month before, I lost my voice. I got laryngitis. It was horrible, and then somebody gave me ginger candy, and then I became obsessed with it.
Oh, okay, ginger candy. So that would be your go-to lozenge?
Yes, ginger. I found a brand at one of those Asian stores, and I just keep. I go there like once a month at least, and I buy like 3 or 4 packs, and I have at least 1 or 2 every day.
Awesome. Do you know what's the brand called? Do you know?
Oh, that I don't know. Okay. Sorry, I don't know.
No, it's cool. I just find stuff like that interesting. I don't know. Maybe I'm a bit of a nerd,
type of ginger candy is good, and it's a little bit on, and it's I like it when it's just a little bit on the sweet side, but also the I don't know what it's spicy. You know how it gives you a little bit of a burn. That's what I like. If it does that, then I'm like, this is good candy.
I love that. See, sometimes I'll go and get ginger root from the produce section and just cut it up and boil it. And
yes, I've done that before too.
Yeah, it's awesome. Like, I mean, not even just for a sore throat. Like, I mean, I don't know. I sort of talk like I've smoked a carton every day, so that's sort of my shtick, I guess. But it's just, I just really like ginger. But it's just really time consuming, and sometimes the ginger goes bad, or you get a bad batch, and that always sucks.
Yes, yeah, it is very good for you. But there's also some ginger. There's these. It's kind of like a juice from Freshie. They make it with ginger and lemon. It's a little bit strong, so you could probably dilute it with some water. And I drink some of those more in the winter time than the summer, but I find that those help a lot. But when it comes to singing, always I have water on hand and the throat lozenges. And if I feel that I'm getting a little bit hoarse, like during a performance, then I will take a few minutes and maybe not talk so much either, just to keep it, just quiet a little bit, and then I'll start singing again. So
very cool. Yeah, it's amazing how much talking can take its toll on your voice. I mean, I was at a concert a couple weeks ago, and I just hadn't really been, I've been to a few since things have opened up, but not too many. And just talking to people, and obviously you're talking a little bit loud because there's, even if the band's not on, there's house music between the bands. And I lost my voice like 20 minutes in, and I'm thinking like, this is really weird. But I think it was just because we did such little talking throughout the pandemic that, it's taking
it could be that too, But I remember doing live shows on Facebook, at home, and I'd be singing for 2 hours, and I'm just like, I just like 2 hours just went by, and I haven't had a break. I'm like no intermission, not like a real show, not like a real concert.
So you're just a natural trooper then.
Yeah, I was just kept going. Next thing concert would start at 8. Next thing you know, it's 10 o'clock, 10:30. I'm like, holy, it's like, I haven't stopped.
Oh, those are the good sets. I actually just had one of those. Mind you, I'm a drummer, so I don't have to worry about anything blowing out. Other than maybe a snare drum or something. But I played a wedding in Sauble Beach last weekend, and it was one of those where, it's
nice.
Hour sets and 3 or 4 sets, and the hour just blew by. It was awesome. Yes, that's great. Because you have the opposites too, where it's like minutes feel like hours, and you're just like, oh God, when's the break? Man, I really gotta pee. I need this break to come.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was afraid of with this festival, because you have to bring your own equipment, right? So I was like, what about if I need to use, the ladies' room? It's like, where do I even go? And who's gonna watch my station? But it was all good. It was such an amazing evening event to be a part of.
Well, that's cool. Were there multiple venues running for the festival? Like, how did that work?
Yeah, they had other musicians there at different corners of College Street, and then there was also vendors there selling food. They had churros, a churro company there, and popcorn. And Saturday night, where I was at College and Montrose Saturday night, and they had the carnival games there.
Oh, cool!
So and then I'm not sure where exactly there were, but there was actually a stage, an outdoor stage, where there were probably more of the big time, more higher end performers performing. I thought that was pretty cool. I saw that all on social media.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And I love how cool Toronto is about doing stuff like that. I mean, a lot of cities you can't get away with that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And I'm doing another one in July. in the downtown core. So I'm really excited about that.
Awesome. Now, please pardon my ignorance here, and I know you're a crossover artist, but I'm just curious about what the opera music scene is like in Toronto or Southern Ontario in general.
Well, opera is pretty big here in Toronto. There is the Canadian Opera Company at the Four Seasons. And then there's also the University of Toronto Opera School, and then there's also opera performances done. I haven't been a part of them yet, but I hope one day at Casa Loma.
Okay.
Yeah. But I studied. When I started singing lessons. It was mostly I started singing opera and was classically trained. And then I started, but then about 5-6 years ago, I started moving towards pop genre, a little bit more on the pop side. So.
Well, it's cool, and when I listen to your music, I can definitely hear the operatic chops. And again, pardon my ignorance, I don't know too much about opera, but I know it to hear it. So you definitely have those talented and trained chops doing pop, more of a pop sound. I think it's very cool.
Yeah, but it was hard to transition at first, but as I practiced, I got a little bit better, and that's when I started singing my own pop music that I released during about 2 years ago now.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Now, we have a mutual friend in the mighty Matt Zadkovich, and shout out to Zaddy for listening. How do you know Matt?
I actually met him at an open mic with the Mississauga Arts Council. I met him and his wife there, and we never really worked together until last year. We started songwriting together. He was giving some private classes. So, and then we end up writing a Christmas song together that I released last year.
That's awesome.
Yeah. He's amazing. Very, very talented.
Oh,
very talented.
Yeah. Insanely talented. And very, he's all over the map. Like, have you ever heard of his metal band starring Janet Leigh?
He told me about it. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's one of the craziest bands you'll ever hear. And then he does the Mad Zaddy stuff and the cover stuff. He actually, he played at my wedding and just incredible. Oh, he did.
Musician. Yeah. Oh, he's very, very talented, and I really do enjoy working with him. And I hope to one day do a live show and have him and his wife Heather come sing with me.
Well, that would be fantastic. Let's now we spent a pretty good amount of time pumping Zaddy's tires, I think. So you're welcome, Zaddy.
Yeah.
But let's bring it back to you. Your voice is absolutely incredible. Let's just get that out of the way. How do you train for a voice like that?
Vocal warm-ups, and just a lot of commitment. Give it your all, and I absolutely love what I do. I can't see myself doing anything else. So lots of practice, that's for sure.
Awesome. For us nerds out there that love to get into the weeds, do you have like a regular practice regiment, or do you just kind of do what feels right at the time?
I kind of do what feels right at the time, but there, depending on what I'm singing, like if I'm singing more classical opera songs, then I'll really start, sitting down at the piano and really vocalizing for a good maybe 15 minutes. But if I'm just doing some crossover pop stuff, then I'll just do some, basic warm-ups, not get too much in depth So, yeah. That's my regime.
Okay, very cool. Now, like, just thinking about vocals in general, and somebody with a voice like yours, I mean, like, I'm just wondering what you think in terms of, nature versus nurture. Do you think, was it all through training? Was some of it like an innate talent you've always had? Like, how does somebody, I can't imagine that anyone can just work and get a voice like that. Your thoughts?
I think it's a little bit of both. And I also think it depends on your teacher, your music teacher that you study with. Because I had a very good vocal coach since I was 17 at the Royal Conservatory, and I've been with her ever since. Like, she pretty much watched me grow up, and came, sang at my wedding, and so yeah, she's been very supportive and helping me, improve my voice and get it stronger. So, yeah, I think it's a little bit of everything. So,
right on.
Your commitment, your drive, how much you want it. And then obviously you got to practice every day, like, just like everything else.
So you do think it's possible through like a whole bunch of work to get a voice like yours?
Oh, for sure. For sure. And then, it's also, I think I was, it's the talent that I already had. I just had to bring it out. Right. So, but I think anybody could sing. I mean, they might not sing be able to sing opera, but I mean, if you can carry a tune, then why not?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, there are definitely a lot of singers that are more utilitarian in nature, and I'm certainly one of them.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, I was just in a scenario where we were looking for a singer in my band, and I thought, like, we could spend a year trying to find the right fit, or I could just sort of learn and,
there you go.
Get to a level where at least I can honk out a couple notes.
Yeah, exactly. You could make it work. And that's what I'm learning with this music industry. There's so much that you can do. And like, even if it's a song that you want to cover, and it might not be of your genre, but you can make it your genre. Like, you can make it fit. Like, it's like there's endless possibilities of what you can do.
Yeah, it really is. It's so cool. Like, if you just think about music as a canvas, you can paint it any color you like, but
exactly.
But I have this conversation with so many musicians where, they think if you get too trained, it's going to stifle your creativity. And I disagree. I think if you know the rules, you can learn how to sort of manipulate the rules.
Exactly. I totally agree. I just did an opera piece by Puccini, and I made it into, the producer that I worked with, he composed it. We made it into a rock metal song, but I sang it in opera, but the accompaniment is rock, metal. It's absolutely incredible. I thought I was going to get, in trouble by the opera goers there, but I mean, not yet anyways, but I thought it was a pretty amazing, what we did. So
that's awesome.
I think it worked. Yeah.
Like, I feel like it translates well. So you didn't get any pushback from the opera purists or anything like that?
Not yet. So it's almost been a year that I released it. So we'll see what happens.
Well, hey, that's awesome. And I think there are two styles of music that do go together very well. I mean, classical and metal. I mean, you have groups like the Trans-Siberian Orchestra that crush every year, right?
Yeah, exactly. They did a rendition of was it Pachelbel Canon?
I believe so.
No,
yeah.
Not that. Okay, probably that one, but the Carol of the Bells.
Okay. Yes. Oh, definitely that one. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And I've heard many renditions of that song. So I think it's pretty cool. How you can create something, a song, and just add a little bit of your own, twist to it. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm trying to think now. I feel like I have heard them do Pachelbel. But I could just be making that up because
they probably did, yeah.
What are some of your major musical influences?
One of them are the Tenors. They are a Canadian pop opera group. They've been a huge influence for me. I actually stopped singing for a good 5-6 years after I had kids, and when I heard them, one of them is from Toronto, and we actually went to the same high school together. And when I heard him and what his group has been doing, they got me to go back to lessons and start singing again. And so they're one of my idols.
That's cool. So you decided that you could balance, motherhood and music and do it all.
Yes. And I also I enjoy all types of music, but another influence has been Lady Gaga. I think she is incredible artist.
Yeah, and a killer musician too, right?
Oh my gosh, she's so talented. So talented. And I actually heard her sing in some musical theater at one of the Oscars or Academy Award shows, and she did a rendition of The Sound of Music, and it was incredible. I think she was doing a tribute to Julie Andrews, and incredible for what she can do.
Yeah, I always love that when a pop star has more below the surface in terms of just musical ability. It's always so inspiring.
Yes. Yeah, and even Pink has done stuff like that too. She did a rendition of, I believe it was Somewhere Over the Rainbow, and absolutely incredible.
It's awesome, and I think it sends such a great message to fans that may like their surface material, but just to learn that there's more underneath.
Exactly, and Queen. Freddie Mercury, I saw the movie, and he was an incredible artist, absolutely incredible. And I really, it's sad what happened to him, but I was just like, damn, I wish I could have seen him live. So
I know,
but very talented guy.
I know. Yeah. You know what I would say though, Adam Lambert. I saw the Queen documentary with Adam Lambert. And man, that guy shreds. He might be the perfect replacement. Not that there's nobody that could fill Freddie Mercury's shoes, but if somebody has to do that job, I think they chose wisely.
Yeah, I think they did too. Adam Lambert is a great artist for sure.
Yes, and while we're talking about replacements, my wife and I went to go see Blood, Sweat, and Tears a bunch of years ago, and Bo Bice was on vocals. And I'll be honest, at first I wasn't so sure, but he took that stage and he killed it.
Good. That's awesome.
It's another one of those situations. I mean, David Clayton Thomas, those are some big shoes to fill. But yeah, I have to admit.
Oh, for sure.
Bo Bice went out there and definitely made me eat my words. What I probably should do at this point is take the quick commercial break. We'll be right back right after this. We're just going to show some love to the sponsors. Today's episode of The Walk Show is brought to you in part by musicvids.ca. Owned and operated by friend of the show and one of the most talented dudes I know, Mr. Matt Connell. Matt has been providing audiovisual services to artists and musicians for years. He's shot music videos for a ton of artists, including Danielle Todd, Enter the Haggis, Patrick Ballantine, and his brilliantly talented wife, Amber McLean. If you're an Amber fan like I am, you might notice her track Run Rabbit in the background. This track is from her album Me, which was recorded and co-produced by, you guessed it, Matt Connell. Check out musicvids.ca to see what they're all about, and be sure to give them a follow on the socials. Oh, and let them know The Walk Show sent you to receive a 15% discount. Shouldn't make it about you needing space. More look like you are hiding face in that hole. Hey, business owners, wouldn't it be cool if I was taking this time to talk about your product or service? I've enjoyed building relationships with some very cool companies since I started this thing, and I am looking to expand the Walk Show family. I work with some great sponsors, and I've sponsored events through the podcast, so I do understand how valuable time and resources can be. If you have any interest or questions about working with the show, hit me up at thewalkshow@gmail.com. Again, that's thewalkshow, W-O-K, @gmail.com. I hope you're enjoying the podcast. Thank you so much for listening. Now let's get back to the show. And we are back. So before the break, we were talking about main musical influences, and I'm going to try to get you to throw some shade here on the Walk Show. Is there any style of music or artist that you just can't stand?
Oh, not really. I kind of like a little bit of everything. I guess it just depends on my mood or the day. But I can tolerate almost all, a little bit of everything. I don't mind it. I mean, there's times where I think opera is boring, so I don't want to listen to it. So I'd rather listen to some rock songs, and then vice versa. So
Oh, I hear you loud and clear. And I think with so much music, and you're probably like this with opera, it's hard to listen to music as a musician and not be over analytical.
Oh yeah, totally agreed. I criticize myself.
Yeah, it gets brutal sometimes. Like I just want to, and I mean, I still am able to sort of detach and just listen as a listener. But I don't know. It's hard. I wish I could do it more. I always wanted to be a musician ever since I was a kid, and then I became one. And I mean, it's fantastic, but that is one of the pitfalls for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I don't know about in your rock like metal genre, but I know in opera it's a lot stricter. It's a lot more strict when it comes to the voices and your pronunciation and your overall presence and everything. Like you're critiqued in almost all of it. So there's a lot of pressure when it comes to that. So I always worry when I do sing opera, like, did I sound okay? And then you listen to other opera singers, and it's like, okay, did I sound like her, or
Or conversely, hey, she got away with that, so I think I'm okay.
Yes, exactly. Because I get critiqued over every little thing in the song, and and then I listen and I'm like, she didn't pronounce that word right.
Oh man, yeah, that's got to be a doozy. And actually, that leads me to my next question, because I saw on your website that you sing in English, Latin, French, Spanish, and Italian.
Yes.
First of all, wow. Secondly, how did that come to be?
Oh, that was throughout all the training I've done and all the songs that I've learned to sing. And my teacher is very fluent in all those languages, and so it was pretty. Throughout I've been training for about 25 years, so it just all came about during lessons and stuff. So
wow. Do you have a favorite language to sing in?
I love singing in Italian, and I would really like to sing a little bit more in Spanish. So hopefully in the future.
Very cool. Were you brought up with several different languages, or was it all strictly through music that you learned different languages?
Mostly strictly through music, believe it or not. I'm from my parents are Italian, but we always spoke in English at home. So I was more exposed to Italian with my grandparents, but then again, listening to a lot of Italian music helped. And then once I started studying, then that's when I started to get a little bit more serious about it.
Cool. So it's literally just mimicking the sounds that you hear coming out of a speaker?
Yes.
Wow. That's really impressive. That's blowing my mind.
And then with your with the teacher that I was studying with, she would help me with proper pronunciation and stuff. So, and that's how we went about learning all the songs that I've sung.
Huh, this sounds like a very impressive vocal coach.
Yes. Oh, she was amazing.
And do you do any vocal coaching or do you teach vocals at all?
I used to teach it when I was in college. It was my job to pay that got me through college, and so I did that for about 2.5 years, and then and then I end up getting an 8 to 5 job. But teaching, I was teaching children from ages to 4 and adults and adult beginners. It was an amazing experience.
Awesome. So you had a good experience with it. I know for me, I've taught drums a couple of points in my life, and I have mixed reviews personally. But you enjoyed it?
Yeah. yes, I did. But it's not from. It doesn't compare to how I was trained because I'm more, a little bit more disciplined, and my teacher was a little bit more strict. But the one thing that I think some of the kids did not enjoy was vocal warm-ups.
Yeah.
I think they wanted to sound like Spice Girls at the time, or whoever was popular then. They just wanted to sound like them, and that's it. And I guess they expected to do that overnight, but it doesn't happen that way.
Exactly. And it's funny you mention that, because actually just before we had this conversation, I was teaching a drum lesson, and I always start with the stretches because they might not matter at his age. He's 7 years old, but I mean, it matters big time. But every time,
exactly.
He looks at me like, what the hell are we doing this for,
Yeah, they don't appreciate it now, but then, I'm sure once they get older and hopefully training, then they'll appreciate it. Like the warm-ups, you need to do it. It's like working, like exercising. You don't just start doing jumping jacks and, you got to warm up first to,
Exactly.
before you get right to it.
Because it's like, one day, kiddo, you're going to get to an age where you throw your back out getting out of a chair. And
yeah, there you go. Yeah. Got to do it safely. You don't want to throw your voice out, and you don't want to sing through your nose or push through your throat.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
You ever heard of a vocal coach named Melissa Cross?
No, I haven't.
So she does a lot of metal stuff, and with bands that are really, really big in the genre.
Oh, awesome.
And so I went through, she has 2 DVDs. They're both, The Zen of Screaming, 1 and 2. And it's fascinating, how she gets into the technique of how you scream, essentially, without throwing out your voice or, coughing up blood.
That's awesome.
It's very cool. It's really fascinating. And I feel like now you can find all kinds of stuff on YouTube. But before the Zen of Screaming, I can't really think of anybody who was doing that. So it's fascinating.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. I always wondered how metal singers scream like that, and some of them could do it very well, and that's I find that really impressive because it's almost like hitting the high notes, in classical genre, and you don't just hit that note, but you need to prepare yourself. You got to breathe. You got to make sure you're in right posture and stuff like that. And I'm sure it's almost the same thing.
Well, it's
for rock metal.
Yeah, like it's very much and you know, I may be technically wrong, but I can tell you what it feels like. It feels like the dissonance between like your head voice and your chest voice.
Yes, yeah.
So it's, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm particularly great at it, but I have never damaged my voice doing it. So I think, you know, doing something right.
Well, that's good. You're doing something right. There you go.
But yeah, it's amazing. You can really go down the rabbit hole with that kind of thing. Speaking of rabbit holes, I'm a bit of a gear nerd, and so I always try to pick my guest's brain about gear. Do you have a go-to microphone or a mic that you prefer over others?
To be honest, no, I don't know much about gear, but I do have one of those old school mics.
I saw that.
Yeah, and I absolutely love it. I got it on sale Boxing Day a couple of years ago at Longman McQuaid, and I saw it. I'm like, I gotta have this.
Oh, it looks so cool. I saw that on your Facebook feed, and I was insanely jealous.
Yeah, it's very cool, and it's not bad quality microphone, but I do for like outdoor gigs, for example, I do want to get a better one, and I don't know the types of microphones, but I see, you know, microphones like yourself or you know, that other artists have with the screen, or the one that I use at the studio. It's like I would like something like that to, you know, more just to sound much, you know, clearer, more professional, and stuff like that. So
very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so, you know, we talked a little bit about the pandemic, and, you know, I don't want to dwell on that or anything, but since things have opened up, have you been to many concerts? Like, just as a show?
I've been to one. I went to see the Tenors on Mother's Day. It was a Mother's Day gift that I got, and it was at Massey Hall. And it was actually really nice to get out, and it was a full house, and some people were masked and some people weren't, and I haven't seen any of the you know, the fans for a long time, and they were all there. It was really nice to see everybody, and nice to see a live show. So I enjoyed it very much, and I'm actually supposed to go see Josh Groban next week at the Budweiser Theater.
Awesome. Now,
yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Budweiser Theater, is that the old Molson Amphitheater?
I believe so, yes.
Like Ontario Place?
I think so, yeah. It's outdoor, outdoor, the outdoor there. Yes, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. I've never been to an outdoor, well, actually, I'm lying. I have been to an outdoor concert, but I haven't been to that venue before, so looking forward to it.
Yeah, well, I haven't been there in years, which is apparently why I didn't know the new name, but I will say I don't think there's a bad seat in the house there.
No, I don't think so. I think we got some pretty good seats. A friend of mine got them, and I'm going with her, and I haven't seen Josh Groban in probably 10 years, so I'm looking forward to it.
Very cool. Actually, yeah, I'm going to the Velvet Underground on Sunday. So I guess
nice.
In podcast land today, because this episode drops on Sunday.
Yeah.
But yeah, it kind of freaks me out because the singer blew his voice out, I guess, somewhere in the States a couple of nights ago on tour. So hopefully he gets it back, because that would be a super bummer if it didn't happen.
Yeah, well, I think that was the last show that I went to, was at Velvet Underground. I went to see Canadian artist Billy Rafool. He is absolutely incredible. I went to the show by myself. I bought 2 tickets thinking I can, you know, get one of my friends to come with me, but they all bailed out on me. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going myself, and I ended up meeting some people there, and you know, which was nice. And yeah, I think he was the last musician that I saw live before the pandemic.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I like going
Yeah,
to shows by
at the Velvet
myself.
Underground. Yeah.
See, I've never been to the Velvet Underground. This will be my first time, and it's weird because I've been to,
Yeah.
I feel like every other venue in the city, but yeah.
It's pretty nice. I mean, it was very dark in there, but you couldn't see anything. But it's nice that you can have a drink and watch the show, you know? So,
Yeah,
so
definitely.
that was cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Let's hope Ken Andrews A makes it over the border and B doesn't continue to blow his voice out.
Yeah.
Do you listen to any podcasts?
Sometimes I've listened to a lot of yours, and I've listened to some like I've done some coaching, some life coaching. So I was given some podcasts to listen to, but usually I listen to them while I'm baking or while I'm cooking. So just something in the background to listen to.
Yeah, definitely. I
Yeah.
mean, I do that a lot
Yeah.
too. Just working from home, it's nice to have a conversation going on in your earbuds.
Yes.
Yeah.
But sometimes I'm limited because I have kids and they're very they don't I'm they kind of control what I can listen to, what I can't.
Okay, well, I mean, depending on their age, first of all, thank you for listening to my show, but
Of course.
might not be something, depending on how old they are, that they can listen to. I definitely throw a few F-sharps in there unnecessarily from time to time.
So I say it all the time, so it's fine. I have 2 teenagers now, so
Okay, so it's not quite so bad.
it's not quite so bad, yeah.
Well, I'm doing good so far. Knock on wood. Well, hope nothing slips out.
Yeah.
So every episode, I ask the listeners a question, and I like to get my guest's take on it as well. So this one's a bit of a doozy, and it's who would play you in a movie about you?
Oh, wow. Oh my God. Who would play me? I would probably say, I was told that I looked like Cher the other day on the weekend.
I can see that.
Because I have a very big curly hair, so because they were talking about the movie Moonstruck, and they said that I could be her sister or something.
Well, there you go.
But I can probably see Lady Gaga because I think we both have big eyes, and I'm not sure. I'm just trying to think of somebody modern or who's popular now.
See, that's my problem. I have no idea what's popular now when it comes to movies, pop culture in general.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm just getting old and out of touch.
Yeah, but she's Lady Gaga's amazing. So, and she's done quite a few movies herself. So, I think it might be her.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What's next for you? Any gigs, tours, or recordings that we can look forward to?
I'm doing some gigs right now, and I just released an anniversary EP. I re-recorded my very first album that I did 24 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, I just released that in May, and that was very exciting. I really enjoyed doing that because not a lot of people know that when I was 19, 20 years old, I recorded my first album, but I didn't do anything about it back in the day. So I just made CDs. I paid all the royalties of the songs, and then I just sold it to friends and family, and then that's it. So I decided to re-record it and add a little bit of a twist, add some featured artists in it, and it's out on it's out on all major platforms now.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Any advice for anyone out there that wants to follow in your footsteps?
I would say just follow your heart. You know, do what makes you happy, and just don't give up. It's not an easy business. The music world. It's not easy. It's very expensive. But if this is something that you want to do, then, you know, put your heart and soul to it and just do your best, and don't give up.
I love it.
Yeah.
Very sound advice. How can people check out what you're doing online?
They can follow me at Elisa Rose Official on Instagram and on Twitter, and where else am I? On Facebook. I'm pretty much all over. On TikTok.
You're doing TikTok,
I'm all over. Yes. I actually love doing the duets. Those are my favorites. The singing duets. I love doing those.
That's cool. I need to get into TikTok. I know it's the wave of the future, and
yeah, it is. A lot of the young kids are very much into that nowadays. So I like to get some young fans, involved with my music, and I actually supervise at an elementary school, so they all know that I sing, and they've checked out my music, and they've actually told me that they actually think that I'm like big and famous. It's hilarious.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And they always say that they're my number one fan, so it's really cool.
Well, there you go. That's incredible. I mean, like, A, you're out there doing it, so I mean, you might as well be famous, and B, I know when I was that age, if I saw a teacher, at the grocery store, I'd be like, wait a minute, like, you eat food too?
Yes. I remember thinking the same thing.
You don't just exist in this school 24/7?
Yes. Like, I had one student, she was checking my music video, and she's like, "This is what you do for a living?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's what I do." And it's like, well, what are you doing here? Well, who's going to pay for that? Who's going to pay to do that music? Yeah,
you'll figure it out one day, kiddo.
Exactly.
Well, the last thing I do on the show is spin 2 tunes. So the first one is by my guest today, Elisa Rose. This is Love's Destiny, followed by today's double feature preacher artist, Room 12 with The Journey. Elisa, so cool to get to know you. Thank you so much for your time today.
Yes, thank you. You're most welcome. Thank you for having me. It was such a pleasure chatting with you.
Oh, well, certainly my pleasure as well. And we'll definitely keep tabs. And I'd love to see you out at a gig someday.
Oh, most definitely. Hope we can collaborate sometime. I think that would be pretty cool. The opera rock, metal in the near future.
Well, I'll definitely get working on my chops, because that's the
there
only
you
thing
go.
holding me back at this point. But yeah, we'll definitely keep tabs. I'd love to collaborate sometime when I'm not going to fall flat on my face about it. To the listeners, thank you so much for your time, and I will catch you next time.
Tonight I saw you crying on his shoulder. Did you know that I was there? I thought of things I should have told you. Didn't know how much I cared. I was too proud, and I was scared.
I heard you tell her that you loved her, and that you'd never be apart. Said nothing rose above her.
were crying on his shoulder. I wish that I were him today,
so I could wipe your tears away, kiss you every day. I miss you every day. I saw my treasure in his arms, but we went in different directions. He was filled with love and charm.
We knew we held perfection.
Suddenly it all came back to me. Our moments frozen in my memory. There is no cure, and I know for sure I'll never get over you. I thought that you would always wait for me. I thought that we were love's destiny.
I'll never get over you.
I'll never get over you. I'll never get over you. I'll never get over you.
beside me.